telecommunication fields. And the conferences that are held here will have wider reach. And the vision the university had to get this done here is going to come back to us all so many times over. Because already we're getting people call me occasionally and say, can you help us? We're going to hold a conference over there. We can't get in. We're a year and a half out. We still can't get in. So right here in this very facility is just an indication of where I see Austin is. And Austin now is in the will-do phase, and we're glad to be a part of it. I started with TAVO, and I want to close with TAVO, and that is nothing happens till somebody does something. There is a reason for all these things we've talked about in Austin. A lot of you out there have had a role in it, but there is a reason, and it always comes to people. It's not where you're located specifically. That was it originally as our country was settled and started growing. Yes, if you could get by a stream of water. Yes, if you get by a mineral deposit. But that's long past now. We learned just in Texas, as wide and varied as this state's interests are, we learned the people are what makes things happen. And the people are what made this happen. As I mentioned earlier, we have a lot of challenges. Although we have a site picked, we've now, with the word out, we've now begun to get information back from some other people who kind of like to compete with that. TAVO doesn't like for me to talk about that at all because this site has already been approved. And more than likely, this is where we're going to be. But I will say that if a little magic came into the game, I might try to convince TAVO that there might be another site around here that could do just as well. But at any rate, there is a lot of interest in people who recognize what this is. And what we're talking about out there is much more than staging this event in 2012. I really don't know where all this is going to take us, but I see this, and I haven't even mentioned this to TAVO because he may shoot me down, but I've already named it Speed City because we're going to have a lot of involvement other than just this 1 week a year on this circuit of this Formula One. I foresee in time that we'll have laboratories on this site. We'll be testing the human will, and we'll be testing the human endurance. We'll be testing a lot of things. I see that we will have laboratories that will be conducting all sorts of experiments that lead to a better life for people in all different fields. And I see that we're going to have other activities involving competition. I can see kids programs. I can see kids racing programs. I can see programs involving speed other than cars. And that would be other means of moving people at fast rates. All of us want to go faster. From the time we were born, that's what our parents cautioned us about when we got our first car. We couldn't wait to get out of sight to see how fast it would run. We've all done it. We still do it. But speed is something that people like to be involved with. So as I give this back to TAVO and thank all of you so much for coming, and hopefully I didn't wear you down too long, we're going to have some question and answer time here. And then also we've got a little sandwich lunch set up for when this breaks up. All of you are invited to attend. We'd be glad to have you if you'd like to stay. So TAVO, now that I have praised you, I have anointed you, I've done everything except hand you a check. That may be a long time coming.
Well, fortunately, Rad and Bruce have been doing that. So.
Well, Rad is a little loose with the money. But TAVO, I'm going to hand it back to you, and I want to thank all of you for the attention you gave me. Thank you very much.
So a couple of things I wanted to point out real quick because I know we're not going to have time for all the questions, and of course it's hard for me to say no to Mr. McCombs, but I think now you understand why when the site was being talked about and I said that 2 or 3 had been looked at, and I think that Red just gave y'all a little clue that there's been a lot of work done on other sites already too. So anyway, that's just for y'all for the curiosity there. But no, the facility, so that you know, one of the big things, people ask me about Formula One and why Austin. Besides all the wonderful virtues that Austin has about being the prettiest city geographically in Texas, arguably, and all the awards it's won from all the, either Forbes or Kipling's are saying that it's the best city for the next decade. The other thing was that when you actually think about it, and Bernie recognized this, and so did all the people at FOM, there are two things. So when Formula One was incredibly successful in the United States, when that was, because people have been commenting that Formula One hasn't stuck in the United States, that's actually completely inaccurate. Formula One is immensely successful from 1960 to 1980, when it was at a permanent facility, permanent road course facility. Since 1980, up until 98, 99, it was always on temporary street circuits. And as wonderful as IMS is, it was basically an adaptation. So it's an IndyCar track that NASCAR has been able to have success there because it's on an oval. But that'd be like us trying to play baseball at DKR, And so my whole point always was that from a geography standpoint, if you took away a map and removed all the names of the cities and said, where would you want a Grand Prix for the Americas to be located? I don't think there's anyone that would pick a region that's not somewhere around Austin. It's perfect access to Canada, perfect access to Mexico, perfect access to Latin America. It is geographically positioned ideally. Secondly, it's one of the most important technology sectors in the United States, as we all know and we're proud of. And if Austin and Texas are going to continue to boast themselves as technology and state cities of the world, which we are, then nothing could complement that better than the most technologically advanced sport on the planet to host their event here. Third, when you look at the sponsors that are already currently involved in Formula One, there are very few cities in the entire United States that have companies with a major either global headquarter or significant headquarter located so near where the event would be.